Greetings everybody, and welcome back to my channel Stacking Stupid, where we try and figure out how to stop stacking stupid. So I got two talk points today. So this first video, I don't know the order in which I'm going to release them, but the first one I want to talk a tiny bit about time. Okay, time is our real only resource that we then convert into other things that are either important to us or other resources. Okay, so we take our time, and whether maybe we share it with a loved one and we create a relationship and bond, or we go to work and we earn money, which then we can exchange and trade and exchange money for other things that we consider valuable. So we're always trading our time for other things. And if you think just like in a naturalist sense, if you were out in the woods, with time you could build a shelter. With time you could go hunting. And those, you could go down the stream and get water, wash, whatever. And all of those things are still happening. They're just more refined in our modern society. There's been some systems that streamline and change how it is, how the exchange happens. Okay, so why is this kind of important to anchor? And you'll see some of these themes pop up in my other videos. That's why I wanted to take a moment. And we have the old adage, time is money. Right, exactly, because money represents value and productivity on some level, it's supposed to. And what do? We trade our time so we can get that money value, and then we can then trade the value for other things we need and want. Okay, so we basically trade our time for things that we want. And where I think this is so important, as remember, I always try and isolate pieces of the conversation that I don't hear enough people talking about. So by no means am I saying this is an absolute, but it's what I hear people being numb to or not talking about. And where I think time is so relevant is I see a lot of the business sector right now. Small tangent. I really believe that our businesses should be laser focused on creating a better / best product and service or service. So, and I think if companies continue to do that over time, the end user experience is going to continue to get better and better and better. And we do see that to some degree, but I think it's nowhere near as optimized as a true competitive capitalist free market would provide. There's a whole nother rabbit hole there of why that's collapsing, failing, and not working. But the short version is companies make a whole lot more money when instead they try and trick and capture money instead of creating value and increasing the level of service or the value of their product. Okay, so why is time such an important factor? So you see this all around. A really good example that we've all seen is the U-Scan at the grocery store. So 20 years ago, you would have a bagger and a scanner and cashier, and you'd come up with your cart and go through, and they would ring it all out, bag it up for you. Okay, now first thing is, if that wasn't the right thing to do, why were they doing it? So there was research that said this is what we should do. We should offer a bagger because it's a good convenience and our people want it. They weren't doing it because it was dumb. They weren't doing it because people didn't want it. They thought it was a value. Okay, and of course the cashier and scanning. So then you go to a U-Scan, and where I'm legitimately doing the job that yesterday you were paying somebody to do. And of course, once again, the company wouldn't do it if they didn't save money. Now, my problem isn't the concept of offering the U-Scan. And then of course, they advertise it like it's the best thing on earth. Look, you can take it, control of your own life. That's not the problem per se. The problem is I don't get any of the savings. Okay, and you can make a small argument that it's still there on the competitive side. Instead of prices going up, it gets absorbed, and they don't have to raise the prices as much. And that is absolutely partially true. But that's not why they're doing it. They did it because they could make more profit, not a better product or service. Okay, and the two should be absolutely correlated in my opinion. So, you go through the U-Scan. I'm doing the work that yesterday you paid somebody to do. And I'm okay with that. It's my choice. A lot of the big argument of why it's okay is, well, you're choosing to do it. And I'm like, well, not really, because at the end of the day, there used to be 6 registers open. Now there's 1, and the line in that 1 register is around the building. So it's not really a choice. The company has saved money, and they put that money into their own pockets, the executive pockets and the shareholders' pockets, and they passed along no value or savings to the consumer. So their product has gotten effectively worse. Now, times this by a million different little things. Maybe I'm trying to think of some other good ones. Being on hold. You used to you'd call somebody, customer service. I'm trying to think of one I did recently. Sadly, they're all healthcare. Track a package. Okay, you'd call. You'd get a person, and they'd go, "How may I help you, Brian?" And you'd go, "Hey, I want to. Here's my scenario. Here's my situation. Can you help me resolve it?" And they went through and they helped you resolve it. And next thing you know, you were happy, and you were giving them a big thumbs up. And that guy or gal was awesome. Great customer experience, great user experience, great. Now you call and you get a automated receptionist, and they give you 4 choices, and none of the 4 choices are why you're calling. And now keep in mind, you're in their system, so what they want, you don't know where you should be in their system. It's their system. They should be guiding you through how to help solve their problems. You don't have that knowledge, but they don't care as a company because they offset the cost to you. So you sit on hold for 20 minutes, punching through a bunch of things, getting disconnected, and the company shows more profits. Now here's the danger, and then all the companies do this. So in your mind, it's like, yeah, well, that's just how it is. No, it's not how it was, okay? And if those savings aren't being passed to you, and like I said, some of it is, a tiny bit is absorbed through just the competitive market pressures of not raising the price of the product. But an awful lot more is just how do we create more profit? And I don't care about the more profit. That's not the problem. The problem, an obstacle, is the bad product, making the product worse. That should never be your goal. And a good example of a company that does it kind of the right way, this is pretty much their staple, is Apple. Okay, whether you support Apple or not, they're top 10, most successful, biggest businesses in the world, and they are not cheap. Okay, what they do is we're going to give you a Mercedes, we're going to give you the high-end product, but it's going to work. It's going to be a great user experience, and we're willing to completely overcharge for it because that's how we have to make our money. And people pay it because they're willing to pay for a good product. And like I said, top 10 companies in the world. So clearly the consumer is interested in this style of product. Where it fails, I'm on a big tangent here, is when you don't know the value of what you're getting, then cost becomes the number one driver. So when you don't trust, because you do not think companies are truthful, or you can't find enough information, or you have competing information, then what ends up happening is you go to cost. That becomes the deciding factor. So back to time. So you see all these companies keep tricking you for your time. We talked about the U-Scan. We talked about like just the customer service where you used to be able to talk to one person and 10 minutes later they would have a resolution for you. Now you go through 20 minutes of an automated teller, get transferred 6 times to the wrong department, then talk to somebody finally, and usually they can help you. So why didn't we just start there? Actually, we did. We used to do it that way. I don't understand. Okay, so the product is getting worse, and they're shifting the expense in the terms of time to you, the consumer. Okay, so back to all that time. So as we go through some other things, maybe scheduling time off is now done through an app on your phone, and you can do it at home from the convenience of your couch. Sure, that is convenient, and sure, there is an added benefit for me, the consumer, but I'm doing the company's job now, and that's perspective, but still, no, literally, I'm doing, what you used to do, now I'm doing, and you're not compensating me for it. I don't know, I could go on and on. You see it a little bit, commercials, you see it a little bit in like, we use phones and phone apps. Okay, everything is now advertising on the phone, right? Advertising on the phone. Oh, you open up YouTube and bloop, this pops up, And I don't know if you guys are like me. I just put my phone down. Like I watch, listen to, engage with maybe 1% of these advertisements. So, and clearly they're making money, but they're trying to take my time. Hey, you got to watch this advertisement. Hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to do that. And it's like, I don't want that. I might be willing to pay you $2 more. But if they charge $2 more, then they would just add the advertising back in anyway, because they're not focused on a good product and a good experience. They're focused on how do we fakely create the most money, short term, by the way, which, by the way, ties into my game theory discussion about they're playing the wrong game. They're not in it for the long haul. And once again, if you need that proof of how it works, Apple, which does stand behind creating a great product, that is what they do. And they're hugely successful. So there's clearly a demand for it. All right, so I kind of rambled through a bunch of things, but time is what we trade. So we really need to create some boundaries and perspective of when society is trying to take our time, why are they not being compensated? Or why are we not being compensated for it? Because that's the arrangement that we're trying to say, that everything is about compensation, everything is about profit. Okay, well, if you want my time, then you need to pay me for it. Actually, I just thought of a couple other small but really good examples. So a survey. You go to a company and you get a service or a product, and then they send you a survey. Okay, so you want my time and you want my opinions. Why are you not paying me for them? Because my feedback has value to you. Why are you not sharing that value with me? Like literally, pay me for what I'm doing for you. That's kind of how work works. So there's this kind of duality where these companies keep tricking you and thinking, oh, it's in your best interest to do the survey because then we can create a better product for you. And there's a portion of that, once again, that's true. It can, guide development. But why was your time ever free? Okay? And if you're going to play by the same rules that corporate America and big business plays by, they should absolutely be compensating you. Big talk now is the Facebook, where you're the product. Well, if I'm the product, pay me. Like, pay me. I'm the product. Well, you do get paid because Facebook's free. Okay, none of that pays me anything. It does not pay my bills. Everybody wants a slice of the pie, except it all gets, boiled down to the consumer gets crapped all over. So, or way too much. So time. So we need to be really aware of when somebody wants our time, they really want our value. And if they want our value, there should be some kind of reciprocal compensation. It doesn't have to be monetary. But please, I ask you guys all to be aware that they are taking your value. And you should be compensated for that value. If it's a great friend, you know damn well, because I'm a big guy, I help all my friends move. That's the big joke, moving karma. I'm like plus 21 in the moving karma degree. Okay, but I know if I ever had to move, my friends would be there for me because I paid it forward. And if not, I know where you live. Anyway, literally, I helped you move there. So time. Let's protect our time, and let's be aware that the companies just seem to be taking our time and then not compensating for it. And more that just keeps happening. Maybe it's, we used to set up your cell phone. Now you set it up at home. Look how good. You can set it up the way you want to. Yeah, but I don't know how to do any of that. I hadn't worked 10 years in a cell phone company store. Like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. No, my stuff doesn't work. Oh, well, instead of, now our customer service line is blown up, so instead we'll just off it to Samsung. They can sell their own phones because we don't care about that. Well, I mean, you literally caused the problem when you stopped helping people understand how to use the device you sold them so that you could make a lot of money. I mean, that's nuts. So we got to elevate our awareness of when people are trying to take from us in the form of our time, which then, of course, represents our value. And we should absolutely start demanding some compensation for it. And if we're the product, why are we not getting our, where's my movie check? And by the way, I'm not trying to advocate for entitlement. No, it's these companies are taking from us, okay? Not the other way around. So, entitlement is where you think they are taking. Maybe we're giving it freely, but if they have it, why are we not demanding compensation for what is taken? Okay. So that's kind of my little point on time. Time is our ultimate resource. And what we're seeing is, yes, things have come down in cost a lot, certain things anyway. But usually if you look deep into it, you find out that they're taking more of your time. So they've offset your investment of time, and that's where the value is being added for them, for these companies, for these corporations. It's not with respects to creating a better service or a better user experience or a better product, at least from my perspective. I could go on and on. So that wraps up time. Go ahead, feel free to chime in on comments, whether you agree, whether you disagree, maybe points, maybe questions, maybe better examples, because obviously I just rambled through a couple things that popped into my head, but there's a ton of them out there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can think of better ones than I did. So time, protect it, man. It's your real only asset. It's what you trade, for time with your loved ones, for to get money so that you can do things that you want to do and that are important to you. And as we create all these scenarios, I'm going to go on a little bit more tangent. Bureaucracy. You see this best in government, but how many people have gone through a bureaucratic nightmare of like, oh my God, 38 steps to like order a pencil or something, something silly. All that's time. Okay, and the big businesses understand this. They fight that as much as they can. Some are better than others. But they understand that it's not really value added. So why do we keep creating these unnecessarily complex systems that literally suck away our time? Okay? So with that, we're going to bring this one to the close. Thank you guys all for tuning in, Stacking Stupid, and we'll be back next week. Actually, I'm doing every 2 weeks right now, and kicking off 2021 with a bang. Take care, guys.